about yourself and how you've got to where we are today.
Hey there, Craig. Thank you so much. Yes. So I am Territory Director here at PADI EMEA, as you say. I've actually worked for PADI for 15 years now. I've been here a little while. But I started diving back when I was 16 years old, got into diving, started in the UK, down off Swanage Pier to begin with, and instantly got into diving. It was my passion. I was a PADI open water diver to begin with. I travelled a lot when I was younger, spent some time in Africa, dived in the UK, worked my way up through the ranks, and I went to Lancaster University, where I was heavily involved in the dive club as a PADI instructor. And I was very lucky. In 2000, in 2001, I was one of the very first Rolex scholars, in fact, European Rolex scholars, which meant that I got a chance straight after university to stay in the diving industry and travel and work all over. So I headed out to Australia, the Caribbean, worked with all manner of extraordinary instructors and divers, learned a whole raft. I got a lifetime's experience in just a year of traveling. It's very special. Then I came back. I ran some dive centres in Australia for a while. I was a dive guide in the Pacific. Then I came back to the UK and ran a couple of dive centres, culminating in a dive centre in Bristol, very close to my hometown of Bath. Worked there, ran that dive centre for a few years. And then my second daughter was being born, and I realised that I was getting very, very busy. And by coincidence, PADI was based just around the corner from me, behind Bristol, St Peter's Station, in fact, funny enough, Temple Meads. I became a training advisor, which was basically a kind of glorified T-boy. And I've been there ever since. Training was always my passion. I love teaching. I love being involved in diving safety, different training techniques. And I've been very lucky. Over the 15 years, I have worked in the training department. I ran the training department. I ran the quality management department. I ran the instructor development department. So I got to see and work with just these incredible PADI professionals all over the world. Act as an instructor examiner. I teach at the course director training course regularly, internationally now, at the very top of the PADI system. And yeah, I find myself in this situation as a territory director where I look after a multitude of countries, and I'm ultimately responsible for the dive industries in each of those. One of them, the one closest to my heart, being the UK. I'm a UK diver through and through. I dive regularly here on the south coast, Dorset. Portland is my spiritual diving home, and I absolutely love it all.
Yeah, we love the UK as well. UK diving is very underrated, I think.
Absolutely, and people are often surprised when, as we all do as PADI instructors, I get asked, what's your favourite diving place? For me, actually, the very north of the UK, up in Scotland, when I was at university, we'd go up to Oban, and I still vividly recall my first dive on the Hispania up on the Sound of Mull, and it absolutely blew my mind. And if I had one dive left, that's what I would do.
My friend Mark Vasco, he's a GP up in Oban, and he looks after the dive chamber up there.
Fantastic. Oh, amazing. And what a beautiful place, part of the world as well. It's that UK diving, see the wreck, afterwards, bite to eat, go to the pub for a beer, talk about it all afterwards. That stunning scenery. There's nothing can beat it.
That sounds perfect.
Did you ever see the basking sharks up at Oban?
Do you know what? I never saw the basking sharks, actually. We were always tend to be there out of season, so I would usually go when it was freezing cold, to be honest with you. I've done a couple of summer trips up to the Knoydart area as well. Never saw basking sharks, although I did, on the other side of the world, only last year for the first time, see my first whale shark out in the Maldives, which was an astonishing experience. So absolutely love it.
I'd love to see a whale shark. Absolutely love to. It's one thing that I've not seen yet, and Craig got to see it on his open water course, or just straight after.
No way.
Actually, on my very first ocean dive, after I'd done my training on the reef, I got in the water, and in the Maldives, and underneath me was a whale shark. Never seen one since. That was 25 years ago, but I saw one on my first ever dive. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, I didn't actually appreciate. I thought, oh, this scuba diving looks good. Look at what you get to see. Little did I know.
Just Rich, just something I picked up on there. You were IE examiner.
That's correct.
As well.
Yes, yeah.
Why would you want to move from that position? Because you are godlike. Jason Socket was my examiner, and I'll be forever eternally grateful to Jason, and he is my all-time hero. So why would you want to move from that position?
See, Jason's my hero as well. He's a very dear friend of mine out in the Canary Islands, of course, now working as a manager out there. Great guy. It's a real privilege to be in that role. And I'm still lucky. I still get to do the occasional instructor examination as well. You know, it is one of those things where, as we all know in the diving industry, it's not quite as glamorous as it looks all the time. Trust me, if anyone's ever done an instructor examination in February in Stony Cove with 20 candidates, that's more like hard work out there as well. But you're absolutely right. It's like everything in the diving industry. Whether you're teaching a discover scuba diver in a swimming pool for the first time, or having the privilege of shaking someone's hand when they become an instructor at the end of that process, it's just such an honour to be part of it, and every single thing's magical about it. It's what makes this industry so special.
Absolutely, yeah. And Jason, like you say, he's such a top guy, isn't he? He made me feel at ease, completely at ease, and all my nerves went away. He's just got a great manner about him.
Really has, absolutely, totally agree.
So talking about the industry, Jim, Rich, I know that you're a busy man. Let's get into what effect this strange time is having. Jim, you got a first question to hit Rich with regarding the industry.